Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad Hughesby, and today I'm giving you 8 guys that are on commit watch. Now, you see Xavier Nwankpa, Luke Montgomery, Malik Muhammad, Justin Rhett in the thumbnail. I would be shocked if all 4 of these guys ended up at Notre Dame. I personally will start off with Xavier Nwankpa, as he's the person that I'm assuming most of you guys want to hear about. I doubt he ends up at Notre Dame. I think he's going to stay home and play for the Hawkeyes. He commits December 8th, though. That's in the next couple weeks. I have to include him. Stuff like that happens. Same with Billy Scrouth. Billy Scrouth, I think, is torn between Wisconsin and Notre Dame, and he's going to commit before early National Signing Day. So, if not on signing day, which is December 15th through the 17th. So, he has less than a month to decide. That's coming up. Same thing, Croy Stewart, currently committed to UCLA. Notre Dame, I think, is going to start pushing for him as the Nwankpa situation gets worse and worse. That's my take on a few guys in the 2022 class. 2023 class, a few more names. Luke Montgomery, he was on the far left of the thumbnail. I think he's ending up at Ohio State, but I think Indy's in second. Family really likes South Bend, has some family in South Bend. Been to campus a few times, once or twice over the summer, and then as well for the USC game they came down. So they definitely have a shot, but I'd consider him an Ohio State lead. Next, Peyton Bowen, safety from Guyer Denton High School in Texas. He's teammates with Ryan Yates and Jackson Arnold, quarterback and cornerback prospects for the Irish. I think Peyton Bowen will end up at Notre Dame. I would put in a pick if I could. I think he's going to end this process before the calendar year, if not before February or March. But we'll see. Maybe he extends it out. But right now, I think he ends up in South Bend. Micah Tease, another Southwest guy from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Oklahoma and Indy are probably the top 2 here. Don't know how hard Oklahoma's pushing, but I think Notre Dame wants him, and I think they're going to get him. Marcus Freeman loves him. Really, really good safety. Target can also play wide receiver and corner. I really, really like Micah Tease as a true athlete. Honestly, maybe he's probably a corner more than a safety, but he's just a very, very solid player. And then we'll head to the 2 guys on the right side of the thumbnail, Justin Rhett and Malik Muhammad, 2 of the biggest names to know in this 2023 class. Malik Muhammad dropped to top 12, as I'm assuming many of you guys are aware of just a few weeks ago. Notre Dame was not on that top 12. So that caused a lot of controversy, but from what I understand, that top 12 isn't really a big deal. I don't think Notre Dame was discouraged by that. I don't even know what that was about. I think Notre Dame is still in his top 2 or 3 alongside Texas A&M. Texas is probably up there, Ohio State as well, but Indy might even be leading. So this is a funny situation. But Malik Muhammad, don't worry about that top 12, guys. Indy is here. They wanted to get him on campus. That didn't happen. They were a little bit discouraged by that, but I don't think it's anything for huge concern. Hopefully they can get him on campus this spring if he takes his officials in the spring. Next, Justin Rhett dropped a top 5 list, I believe, at the start of November. Tennessee, Oklahoma, Oregon, Notre Dame, and Georgia were a few of the schools on that list. I think it's Bama, Indy, Georgia. So if you're Notre Dame, you like that company. 2 SEC powers, 2 of the top 3 teams in the country. I don't know if he's a take at those schools. So that has to help Notre Dame. I'm not really sure what's going on with Oklahoma and Tennessee, the 2 other schools on that list, but we'll just have to wait and see. I like the Irish for him right now, but you never know. I think he commits before the start of the next calendar year, so maybe in the next month. Has to be in the next month, so we'll see. On Instagram, just want to point this out. It looked like there was a commitment video coming together. Posted some things on his story and whatnot, and I think Twitter, a few things as well. So it looks like a commitment video might be in the works. Just something to keep an eye on. I get a comment, William Herman. I sincerely believe that Nwankpa is never coming to Indy. You're probably right. I mean, I don't think he's going to come to Indy, but early August was a period of time where he posted something on Twitter. I remember I hate to base this stuff off social media, but he posted something. I'll go over the love is the realist. Every single Notre Dame staff member retweeted it and showed it some love. Kyle Hamilton as well. After that, sure, it's social media and whatnot, but there was some buzz. I really thought ND was in the driver's seat by just the slightest of margins, but for a few weeks there in August, I thought it looked good. And then Nwankpa visited Iowa City for a Sorry about that. I was kicked out. Wi-Fi problems. But yeah, visited Iowa City for their first game of the season. Caden Proctor, his teammate, 5-star offensive tackle, joined him for that as well. And then he came back to Iowa City for an official visit the first weekend of October when they played Penn State. And that's when I think they took the momentum. His mom posted something on Twitter, the Iowa student section chanting, "We want X." He was in the locker room after they knocked off Penn State. And so I think at that point, everything started moving towards Iowa. But they came back to South Bend for the USC game. They enjoyed their time, but went back to Ohio State on the 30th for the Penn State-Ohio State game. And then I just don't think Notre Dame had enough left. I think he wants to stay close to home, be the hometown hero. A lot of Iowa athletes have had some pretty big NIL deals done. So that's something to look at with these Iowa brands. I've seen a bunch of the women's basketball players been sponsored by some big-time brands and football players as well. So there's that strong pull to stay home to Iowa and be the face of the state when it comes to college football. As Iowa State, it's looking like Matt Campbell's going to be leaving in Iowa State. I don't even know what's going to go on with that program. So, yeah, playing the Big Ten, be the star. He'll start right away. And so I don't blame him. I mean, you got everything going there, but the education was something that I think Notre Dame held its own in. But Columbus and Notre Dame are not day trips if you live in central Iowa, so his parents couldn't come see all of his games and whatnot. Iowa City just about an hour and a half from where he lives. So I understand it. I'm frustrated by it. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I wanted Notre Dame to land Nwankpa. And for a period of time, I thought Marcus Freeman and Chris O'Leary would get it done, but that just didn't happen. And they're going to move on to Croy Stewart, I think, and hopefully lock him up. Very athletic safety from California that's currently committed to UCLA, a very solid school. So, yeah, that's all I have, guys. Thank you for your patience with the technical difficulties, and I hope you like and subscribe. Comment if you have any questions. That's it for me today. Be on the lookout for some more